Everyone. In this session, we are going to talk about the incremental data load in Power BI. Incremental data load in Power BI is a powerful feature designed to optimize the process of refreshing the data in the large data sets. Instead of reloading the entire data set during each refresh, Power BI only reloads the latest data set. So let's go to the Power BI screen and see how can we create these incremental refresh. So over here, I am working with the data set orders and I have already created a date table over here. So we have already discussed about creating the date table in the previous sessions, and if you want to create this, what you can do is you can go in the table view over here and you can click on the new table, and then you can type the query for this date table. So if I click on this, you can find this query over here. So what you have to do is you first have to find a date time column in your data set, and since we are using this global superstore data set, I'm having the order state and shipping date over here. So the idea over here is to create a table which has the minimum date of this order date and as well as the maximum date of this order date. So the date range lies between these two numbers from which the orders started coming in and till where we have got the orders. So you can use this calendar function and you can put the minimum and maximum order dates over here, and it would create the date table for you. After you have created the date table, you can go in the model view, and what you need to do is you need to drag and drop the date on the top of this order date over here, and this would create a connection. So if I click on this connection, you will see that it is a many to one connection, and this is between the date table and the date column and the order date column. So this is how you will create a relationship between them, and we have already talked about this also in the previous sessions. After you have done this, what you need to do is you need to go in the transform data option. Now remember, to create an incremental refresh, what you need to do is you need to create two parameters. So first of all, so you have to verify this order state and whether the data type over here is date time or date. Then you can go in the manage parameters option. You can click over here and you can click on the new parameter, and the first parameter that I'm trying to create is range start. Now our dataset consists of dates from 1st of January 2011 to 31st of December 2014. We have the data between these two numbers only. So over here you can put the range start and you can put in the date over here, which would be 1 1. So I will put 01 dash 2011, and this is where the order started coming in for my data set. And over here in the type you can put the date. Click on OK. Then you again have to create a new parameters. So you can go in the manage parameters option again, and over here in the new, then it would be the range end. The type would be date. Current value would be 31/12/2014, and click on OK. Now, since we have created these two parameters, what I need to do is I need to filter my data according to these two parameters. So currently all the data that is present inside this table has these dates only. But what I need to do is I need to find my data currently between these two dates so that the new data that is coming in, I can differentiate between that. So over here, you can go in the order state, click on this and use the date filters option. Click on the custom filter option. After you have created the custom filter, you can choose over here that this data should be after or equal to this range start. So you can put in the parameter over here and you can specify this data should be after or equal to the range start, and it should be before the range end. So this is how you will bind your data between these two values, and you can click on OK. After this data has been filtered, you can click on close and apply. It will load the data for you. After it has loaded the data, what you can do is, so I'll minimize this. After it has loaded the data, what you can do is you can click on your orders table, go to the incremental refresh, and over here it would ask you to select a table. So you can select your orders table because this is the table that I want to apply my incremental data refresh on the top of. Then over here you can use this option where it says incrementally refresh this table, turn it on, and then it would ask you what is your historic data. So currently we have chosen the data for 4 years. So all the historic data is for those 4 years. So here I can archive that 4 years data. So I will put in 4 and I would put years over here. Now you can also find that this data imported from option is showing you. So this is basically the data which is archiving before this date. So what you can do is, first let's put it this value. Now it would ask you that for how much time do you want to do the incremental refresh. So let's say that I have stored 1 month's data and I want to reload that data after every 1 month. So over here I can put in 1 month over here. Then you can put it over here that detect data changes. So it would basically detect whenever the data is changing in your table. Then you can put it the table over here, for which particular column do you want to detect the data changes. So I want to detect it for the order date. After you have put in this value, it would show you that how much of the data is being archived and what is the incremental refresh value. So you can click on apply. Now remember few things, that currently our data was having the historical data. So whenever you will be going to the transform data option over here, if I show you the parameters, you can find the parameters over here also. So you find this values and this is kind of historic data. So that's why it doesn't like work too correctly with my table. But whenever you will be working with the real life data sets, what you need to do is you need to put the end date of your data. So currently whenever you will be extracting the data, you will be putting in some values over there, and whenever the new data would be flowing, it would be the future values. So it would be able to detect it more correctly that there is some data inflow, and then it would try to reload that new data. So I can minimize this. And after you have came over here, now after you have already set up this incremental refresh, what you can do is you can publish your report. So after publishing in your report, we have already talked about the steps of how can you set the refresh over there in the Power BI services. So you can also schedule the automatic refresh. Then all your data which is coming in, and it would be processed over here first, and then at the Power BI services it would be able to take up your data, and all this scheduled refresh would be happening over there in the Power BI services as well. So your all data is in sync. So this is how Power BI won't be taking up too much load, because it has already stored up some data, and the next time it is loading up the data, it would be only looking at that particular 1 month or 1 day or whatever value you have set up for that incremental refresh. So this was all for incremental refresh. In between, let's say that you are facing any issues by converting that date field. So I will go again in the transform data, and let's say if you are facing any issues over here, so you can go in the orders table, and what you can do is instead of date over here, you can put the data type as date time also. So this is also one of the things that you can try if it is causing any issues. And also in the manage parameters, when you be creating these parameters, what you can do is you can put this date time if it is not working as just date for you. So it happens sometimes, sometimes it is not able to detect date also. And because when you will be applying the filters over here, so these filters cannot be applied. Both this table and these parameters have to be in sync with the exact data type. If you are choosing date time, you have to choose the daytime options at both places. If you are using date, you have to use the date option at both places. So remember to perform this step first. This was all for incremental data refresh. Thank you.